Yes. We welcome you to Guatemala City, and it is the second match of the evening here in Group C for the 2024 Concacaf Under-20 Championship qualifying. The host city of Guatemala taking on Barbados, and a beautiful evening in Guatemala City, temperature in the low 70s, perfect night for football as Guatemala is the host nation for all of the matches here in Group C. One match played earlier today here at this stadium, Curacao, with the only goal of the game coming in stoppage time. They beat St. Martin, and so therefore they sit atop the group after just one game has been played. Guatemala, the higher ranked team of these two, as they meet for the first time ever at this under-20 level. But certainly Guatemala, not only the stronger side, but they also have the benefit of playing here at home, where all of the matches here in Group C are taking place. It is the winner of this group that qualifies for the Concacaf Championship final later on this summer.
Y Barbados para el partido de esta noche del clasificatorio sub-20 de Concacaf 2024.
Damas y caballeros, por favor ponerse de pie para escuchar el himno nacional de Barbados. Damas y caballeros, por favor mantenerse de pie para escuchar el himno nacional de Guatemala.
Guatemala, feliz que tus alas no profanen jamás el verdor, ni a esclavos que llaman el yugo, ni tiramos escudo a tu faz, si mañana
Damas y caballeros, la alineación de la selección de
Guatemala
Barbados.
and
Con el número
Barbados
21,
meeting for the first time at the under 20 level here in Concacaf Championship qualifying. Always intriguing when you have two nations like this that collide in a first ever matchup. You don't always know what to expect. And sometimes what you think might happen can be a total surprise from what actually plays out on the pitch. But as you can see, a gorgeous night high above the pitch as we take a look at starting 11 for the home side, Guatemala, and their manager, Marvin Cabrera, the 43-year-old Mexico native who played professionally in Mexico and was also the manager of Deportivo Toluca in Mexico before coming here to Guatemala. Captains poised to meet at midfield with the officials. And there's the four-person officiating crew led by the referee who towers over everyone else, Adonis Carrasco, the 30-year-old from the Dominican Republic who has been in charge of matches all over Concacaf and the Nations League and World Cup qualifying, the Concacaf Champions League as well, and now presiding over the coin toss here at midfield. And now the starters for Barbados. Full squad, no injuries. The manager, Kent Hall, the 45-year-old former national team player for Barbados, now in charge with his first managerial head coaching position. So a gorgeous night over Guatemala's largest stadium, the Estadio Doroteo Guamuch Flores, that opened way back in 1948, named for a long-distance runner who won the Boston Marathon, site of many games for the Guatemala national team. Last year, played host to the Concacaf Under-17 Championship, and now the first day of qualifying for the Under-20 Championship and the second and final game of the day. Curacao a winner earlier over St. Martin, and now the host nation of Guatemala facing Barbados to conclude the night. Guatemala in the white, Barbados the blue. Two teams meeting for the first time ever. Guatemala with their last appearance in the final round of this championship coming back in 2022 when they got to the semifinal round. In the meantime, for Barbados, their last appearance was also back in 2018 in the group stage. This Guatemalan side, very offensive-minded. They like to start on the front foot, dominate the ball. They're good in possession. They work the ball extremely well in terms of passing in tight spaces. And they will want to certainly take it to Barbados early and often. They have speed up the middle, and they have quality all over the pitch. A very good technical side, while Barbados is one of your typical CONCACAF teams, lower ranked. Some good athletes, not all that technically sound, certainly not at the level of Guatemala, so they'll more likely sit back, absorb the pressure, and try to play on the counter when given the opportunity. But you can already see how deep and conservative they are playing defensively right now, sitting back in that low block. Guatemala playing it over the top here, early chance. And the game's first corner will come in just the second minute. Fast start for the home side. This is Sullivan Sagastume, who will provide the service as Guatemala looks for an early tally to get on the board here at home. Pretty good delivery towards the back post. Guatemala overall has made 20 different appearances.
Yep. And Barbados forced to defend here, deep in their own end in the early going, now trying to work the ball up that left flank. They do have some pace on the outside, and perhaps that's where they can best take advantage when they're playing in transition here this evening against this very good Guatemala side, top to bottom. And first whistle in terms of an infraction on the night. And that provides a free kick for Barbados. Quickly played in, no one home, goes through untouched and out. This is actually going to be a throw-in for Guatemala, going out deep in their own end. Guatemala's best ever result here at this Concacaf Under-20 Championship. Second place, which they've accomplished twice. And the first was back in 1962, the other in 1973. And now racing down the left flank, curled in front, and just chipped over the bar. Best chance of the match so far. Well worked. Good opportunity for the home side. Just could not convert. Matthew Evans making the run. Evans of LAFC getting on the receiving end here of this curling pass. Got in behind the back line, and it was just Diego Bolaños, the keeper, who came out and provided the difference. He was the only reason it's still 0-0. That's how quickly Guatemala can strike. They are so swift. And they don't dawdle in possession. They get the ball up the pitch in a hurry. Served in again, this time headed up into the air. Good delivery by Carlos Aguiar. And Guatemala swarming early here. This is Oligar Escobar. Escobar again. He's going to be tripped up, and that is going to be a free kick. So crafty, so elusive in midfield, hard to pin down. So the first set piece for the home side. Maybe a little bit too far out to really go for goal, but certainly some options here to serve up an assist. Barbados really playing out at the top of the 18. Chipped in. Flag stays down. And goes out for a goal kick. Always risky. When you play that high line on a set piece, you're taking your chances. And sometimes just leaving it into the hands of the officials. Sometimes they get it right, other times not so much. But always dangerous. Guatemala, several players stationed high up the field here. And again, winning the ball back quickly. Escobar turning, going backwards. And they'll have to start from deep in their own end. This Guatemala side, of all the teams in this Group C, they're the highest ranked in Concacaf as of the last rankings. 7th among all Concacaf teams. Curacao is next on the list at 14th, and then nobody else, including this Barbados side, is inside the top 30. So that's the disparity in terms of quality that these two teams have between them here tonight. Barbados has been to the Under-20 Championship on 6 occasions. Best ever result is just the group stage. They've never made it out of the group stage in all 6 attempts. And now here's Guatemala once again, pushing white jerseys forward, pulling up, looking to create, chipped towards the far post, never quite got there. Escobar heads it down, and then the volley is lobbed up, and the save is made. That was to Carlo Guerra. And he couldn't get all of his weight behind it, kind of got under the ball on the volley attempt. But one indication of the way Guatemala wants to play is just how quickly they're getting the ball up, especially down the wings, and then getting runners in the box. And so far, Barbados unable to handle that pace with players blowing by them. Defending is certainly going to be a challenge for the team in blue here this evening. This is Aguiar. "27 teams playing for 6 spots at the Under-20 Championship later this year. And this one of 10 matches taking place in qualifying today. There are 6 teams who are exempt from qualifying: the U.S., Honduras, Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, and the Dominican Republic. So that leaves just half of the field remaining that's going to be determined through this qualifying round. And here is Munoz, ball rolling out, and a corner for Guatemala. "12 teams will make up the final composition of the Under-20 Championship here this year. There's 6 spots accounted for, 6 more left to go. It'll be all of the group winners here from this stage of qualifying at these different venues that are hosting over the course of this week. That's played in, headed by. It's going to be run down, however, by Rudy Munoz on the far side. He's going to serve it back in. That's a good delivery, and headed up and over the bar by Matthew Evans. Evans, one of 2 LAFC products playing in the starting 11 here tonight, along with DeCarlo Guerra. But Guatemala attacking from both sides in the early going. 10 minutes deep, still no score. The last time Barbados even played in this tournament, it was back in 2018. While Guatemala, as I mentioned, made it to the Final Four back in 2022, and by doing so, they locked in their spot for the Under-20 World Cup. Carlos Aguiar. Good start for him. Plays for Deportivo Malacateco. Some pretty prominent club names on the starting 11 that are attached. I mentioned LAFC, New York Red Bulls, New England Revolution, among the few. Barbados just trying to get out of their own end right now. Playing on the counter. Oh, and there's a slip. And Guatemala trying to take advantage. That ball's played through by Munoz. He's got Mendez, who sweeps it across. It's going to be run down by Matthew Evans. He'll keep it alive. All kinds of time to set this one up. Floated into the box, but once again, headed straight up into the air. And that is going to be a corner kick. I believe it should be a corner kick. Yeah, that's what's going to happen here. Indeed it is. Selvin Sagestume is going to come over and take it for Guatemala. Despite a pretty good record all time, Guatemala winless in their last 5 outings with 3 consecutive losses at this under-20 level. Barbados also losing their last 3 in a row. Now from just outside the 18, shot partially deflected, and then it comes on and the save is made. That's a terrific stop by Chung. And first real test for him in terms of making a stop here this evening. He did come out earlier to break up a play. And now a player for Barbados is down here in the 13th minute. Javon Wickham. Oh, he just got caught in the foot there. That Was a heavy challenge from Daniel Mendez. So Wickham now on the free kick, a player who is at the University of the West Indies. Guatemala looks to change fields here. Pretty good touch to find Evans. He's run off the ball, but he runs into another corner kick. Guatemala creating a lot of chances here in the early going. And again, Sagastume, their designated set-piece taker, curls it out this time towards the top of the 6-yard box. Sagastume again. A lot of height and athleticism on this Guatemala squad. Closing in as a nation on 100 wins all time at the Under-20 Concacaf Championship. Already 4 shots to none for Barbados. Barbados just unable to cobble together some passes to maintain possession to allow others to come up and support the play. They'll get the throw in here with Trayvon Wickham. That's some sloppy play, gives it right back to Guatemala. Sagastume. Oh, tried to slot it through. That would have been a very clever ball. Instead, it's Mendez, who's got some room, lays it off. Aguiar gets it back to the top of the box. Aguiar once again trying to poke it through. And then the shot finds the back of the net from just outside the 6-yard box. It was coming, and it's finally delivered by Hector Prilwitz, who gives Guatemala the 1-0 lead here in the 17th minutes in front of the home fans in Guatemala City. It was just a matter of time, and that was well worked. Aguiar, Escobar all had a hand in it, but then it was an errant volley in the end that got it to Prilwitz. That volley by Raquan Clark of Barbados, kind of a nonchalant volley, and then Prilwitz just gets over the top of it and bounces it into the corner. That's a very sound and well-taken shot by Prilwitz. And opens the scoring here inside the first 20 minutes. Prilwitz, a player who plays club football in Guatemala, unlike some of the other members of the roster. And now up to the 1-0 lead and in search of more. A foul against Barbados here. Perhaps out of frustration, Prilwitz, the goal scorer, is the man who's on the receiving end of that. Yeah, a couple of different fouls, as a matter of fact. Aguirre cutting it in. Chipping in across. Now the keeper, Chung, had come out, left the goal mouth vulnerable. Now from distance, long range effort. And they're bombing him here. Olga Escobar from the New England Revolution. That partially deflected, so another corner kick for Guatemala. Sagastume. White shirts pouring into the box, hoping for a delivery. Service comes in. Deflected header. And a shot is blocked. Chased down, though, by DeCarlo Guerra. Eventually it goes out of bounds, but the throw-in belongs to Guatemala. Keeping the pressure on, 20th minute, leading 1-0. Trying to match Curacao at the top of the group after one match play. Curacao, a winner earlier today here on this field. 1-0 over St. Martin. Aguirre. And they'll reset here with 20 minutes going by. Guatemala pretty much having their way, dictating the pace, the tempo, everything about this game, dominating the ball. Mendez drops it off. A little too short, though, for Sagastume. And it will be run down at the back by Prilwitz, the goal scorer. Escobar turning. So much space in the middle for Guatemala to operate. Now Aguirre. Guerra trying to break the lines with the pass. Aguirre was making the run. And the shot blocked at the top of the box. Guatemala first to it, though, getting on the end of the loose ball before Hee Chung came out to smother it. Barbados just surviving right now, but boy, they are trapped so far back in their own end, defending just about everybody behind the ball right now. Yeah, that's going to be a free kick for Barbados. Now the qualifying tournament here this year for the Concacaf Under-20 Championship, featuring a change in its format from the previous two editions, with the number of participating teams in qualifying increased, as only 6 teams are exempt from this qualifying stage. So qualifying groups were also increased from 4 to 6, with the 6 group winners qualifying for the final instead of the 4 teams that qualified in the previous 2 editions. As was the case in the 2020 edition, each qualifying group will take place in one of the nations that make it up, and this Group C taking place in Guatemala, where Guatemala is playing all of their matches, and the rest of Group C will as well. "27 teams spread across 5 different venues in Central America and the Caribbean for these qualifying matches. The teams divided into 3 groups of 5 and 3 groups of 4. And the winner of each group advancing on to the championship to be held later this summer. Guatemala here, a 1-0 lead on their home pitch. Now Escobar from distance, a rocket. Guatemala also trying to get back to the Under-20 Men's World Cup, where they've appeared twice. The first time it was in Colombia back in 2011, and then again last summer in Argentina. Off to a promising start here on home pitch. And trying to get forward. Player goes down, and it's going to be a goal kick. Wanted the penalty, but it was Escobar who tried to sell it, but our referee, Adonis Carrasco, did not bite. And just a wasted goal kick. Over halfway through this first half of play at the Estadio Doroteo Guamuch Flores in Guatemala City. And the host nation of Guatemala in their first qualifying match for the Concacaf Under-20 Championship with the 1-0 lead. And they're going to get a free kick right here. As DeCarlo Guerra was taken down by Kyle Vanderpool. That's a good line drive. Volley towards the back post. And Carlos Aguiar almost had a spectacular goal there. Good job to control that and at least get something on it with the one-touch volley. Very difficult ball to handle. In addition to the 2 second-place finishes in this event that Guatemala has registered, they've also been third on 2 occasions, and both of those third-place finishes have come when the tournament has been hosted here in their own country in 1964 and again in 2011. The 2 second-place finishes happened in Panama and in nearby Mexico. Barbados trying to get blue shirts forward, and if nothing else, they're going to get the free kick. So that's a good hold-up play by Khalil Vanderpool, who plays in Dubai for the Dubai City Football Club. So he entices the foul by Kamari Johnson, and that leads to this set piece. So this is probably the best result they could have hoped for. It didn't look like anything else was going to develop from the run of play, but by drawing this free kick, this is a better situation for Barbados as they look to tie this match here in the first half. And actually going for goal, either that or just completely miss-hit by Ethan Taylor, the captain. No real sense in going for goal from that far out, so perhaps just a big shank and almost a bad giveaway here. Chance for Barbados, slipped through, and at the far post, they have tied this game and won. Awful giveaway by Diego Bolaños, the keeper for Guatemala, and against the run of play, against all odds, Barbados has leveled this match here in the 28th minute. Wow. Look at this, just a nonchalant, casual pass, and then look at all the blue shirts who are moving into position here. There's 5 of them in the box. And it's Christian Gill who provides the assist here. And Guatemala just unable to recover. As Rivaldo Masaya from the University of the West Indies gets the tying goal here, still in the first half hour of play. Just incredible. Horrible giveaway by the keeper. And it's really amazing how many times, even at the highest level, the Premier League, the Champions League, you name it, we see keepers actually make mistakes like that. Sometimes just too casual. And I know it's become the norm for keepers to have such good feet and to initiate the playing out of the back style, but sometimes you got to have more awareness and purpose, as well as urgency to get on moving with the play. You can't just dawdle back there. So now we're tied at 1. Guatemala looking to retake the lead, and they'll get a corner kick. Matthew Evans earning that one for the home nation. As we come up on the half-hour mark. And Evans is going to go over and produce the in-swinger here off the corner attempt. Good line drive. "30 minutes deep, Prilwitz and Messiah. The goals for each side. Masinos floats it high into the box. And Escobar is knocked down. And a free kick coming up for Guatemala. Sullivan Sagastume, as well as Matthew Evans, positioned near the ball. Looking for runners into the box here as they look to reestablish the lead. That's pretty good service, and it's 2-1. They bounce right back, and it is Diego Escobar who has given Guatemala their second lead here in this first half. It's now 2-1 on their home pitch. Really good delivery. Perfectly timed run. Opens up the foot and just slots it past the keeper into the corner. Textbook stuff. Calm and poised on the finish. And Barbados, some careless defending as he slipped in much too easily, but Escobar has reestablished this 1-goal lead for the home side after Barbados had scored after a mistake by Guatemala's keeper, Diego Bolaños. Guatemala already here in the first half hour of this match, showcasing the versatility with which they can attack, either from the wings or through the middle. And now Barbados off to the races here. A chance to once again level. And they get enough players in support with the keeper, Bolaños, out of the box. And the flag is going to be up for offsides. Player down here for Guatemala. Oh, Got his ankle stepped on. Carlo Guerra. Well, definitely worthy of a card. Haven't had one yet until now. It's Ethan Taylor, the captain, who goes into the book. First yellow of the match. Rudy Munoz earns the corner kick. Good effort to keep that one in play. Trayvon Whitman, very busy at that right back position so far tonight for Barbados. And Evans is going to come over this time. That's another good delivery. That curling ball dipping just at the right time. Guerra goes back for it. More players taking up positions in the box. But this cross here, that never makes it through. Barbados tries to break. Oh, it's a good ball through the channel. Opportunity here with a good cross, but no, it's an even better slide tackle for Guatemala there at the back. Diego Kuchke. Sliding tackle at the very end. Kamari Johnson on the throw-in inside the final 10 minutes, first half. Johnson has his cross attempt blocked out for another throw. And that is Daniel Mendez coming all the way back to make that play. And so Johnson once again. Line drive cross. Oh, wow. That was clever and almost a sensational goal, but right at Bolaños. Man, would that have been something. Khalil Vanderpool. Not really a bicycle kick, just sticking the foot up in the air to try and get a touch and deflect it on goal. It was hit with such pace, and he was so close to the woodwork anyway. And that's all it would have taken. Didn't have to put a lot of his own pace on it. But Barbados growing into this first half now. After they got that first goal, again down by one, but feeling a little more sprightly here, creating an opportunity. Trying to pass it back into the box. A lot of white shirts in that area before it's finally cleared. Daquan Clark turning back for Barbados now, clipping it over the top. Now Escobar playing it out wide, and it'll go out for a Barbados throw. Two managers, very animated on the sidelines. Marvin Cabrera, the 43-year-old Mexican for Guatemala, and also Kent Hall, the 45-year-old for Barbados, the native of Barbados. And now Rudy Munoz cutting it inside. Mendez drops it back. Aguiar. Now a chance for Barbados on the counterattack. Into space. It's a 2-1-2. Christian Gill trying to hold up play, wait for support. Now it's Guatemala. A chance at midfield here to get numbers forward, but an errant pass will put an end to that opportunity. 40th minute in a 2-1 game. Oh, that's a perfect ball through the middle. Coming out, though, is Chung. He gives up the rebound, then hops on it, grabs the leg of Evans to corral it. Well, he had to come out there. That was a good decision, well-timed, because it was an excellent through ball. And could have made it a 2-goal game. Five minutes plus stoppage time left to go first half. Shouldn't be a ton of stoppage time, I wouldn't think. Throw in here for Carlos Aguiar. Coming up short on the give and go. Now Prillwood scored first. Messiah answered for Barbados after a mistake by the keeper Bolaños, and then Escobar off the free kick, giving Guatemala the lead once more. 2-1 the score, and the 41st minute of play. Laid off nicely. Mendez. Here's Escobar, who has the go-ahead goal. Guatemala playing at the top of the box. Good combination work. Excellent ball through the channel. And then it was Aguiar who tried to cut it back, but instead he'll wind up with a corner. Some very nice passing. Breaking open the lines and getting in behind that back line of Barbados for Guatemala here in this first half. They've done really well at breaking them down. Corner kick is going to be taken here by Rudy Munoz. Now instead, Matthew Evans comes over. Outswinger. Evans, good delivery, but once again, headed out for a goal kick. Well, they're going to rule it a corner kick, so Evans will just do it again. That one's volleyed and punched back over the bar by Chung. Turned out to be more dangerous than you might have thought. Little flick volley here at the near post. Well, maybe not as dangerous. Final minutes, first half. Guatemala looking for a 2-goal lead here. .45th minute. Should be getting an indication in terms of stoppage time any second now. That's a good inventive play, passing it through the channel, but it winds up as a goal kick. And as I would have thought, just 1 minute of stoppage time added on here. Really not much meaningful stoppage time throughout the course of this half, so that makes sense. And Guatemala maybe looking for one more opportunity. Carlos Aguiar. Aguiar swings it across and needed a little more angle to cut it back because it went right into the arms of Chung. He had players running on. If he curls that a little more out away from the goal, it could have been 3-1. Good idea nonetheless, though. And Barbados, almost a bad giveaway here deep in their own end. In the final seconds of stoppage time. And Guatemala trying to generate one last opportunity here. It's going to be cut back. And rolls through untouched by a white jersey, and that'll take us to halftime. So goals by Prilwitz and Escobar for the home side. Messiah, the lone goal for Barbados. And halfway through it, it is Guatemala leading Barbados 2-1 here in Guatemala City. A good bounce back by Guatemala after conceding a goal against the run of play. Bad mistake by their keeper. Tied the game at 1 just a few minutes after they had taken the 1-0 lead, but then they quickly recovered and reestablished this 1-goal advantage and feel like they are in control here as the teams head to the locker room at the break. First half highlights and stats on the way here momentarily from Guatemala City. All right, so this is the way things got underway in the first ever meeting between Guatemala and Barbados in their first qualifying match for the Under-20 Concacaf Championship here in Group C. And it was pretty much Guatemala controlling the ball and the play overall from the start, creating opportunities in the first few minutes, including this one right here. If not for Chung coming out in goal, that would have been 1-0 at that point. And then he had to make his first big save right there. But they kept coming and creating chances, opportunities. And you got the feeling it was just a matter of time before they were going to eventually find the back of the net. And that would come right here, as Prilwitz would get the loose ball off the errant volley. Gets over the top of it for this volley that he hammers into the corner for the 1-0 lead. And then more chances for Guatemala before this bad giveaway on the backside for Bolaños in goal for Guatemala. And it's Messiah there who basically just taps it into an open goal. This was completely unexpected against the run of play, but tied the game at 1 just minutes after. Prilwitz had given Guatemala the lead, but then just a few minutes later, it's Escobar who comes back and off the volley from the free kick reestablishes the 1-goal lead here. So 2 really good goals by Prilwitz and Escobar in different fashions to give Guatemala the 1-goal lead here at the half. This was the final genuine chance of the first 45 minutes before the teams reached the intermission. So 2-1 the score, and all of the relevant statistics also favoring Guatemala at this point. With 1 half left to go, 14 total shots, almost 3 times as many as Barbados. And 5 on target, 2 that have found the back of the net. Barbados' only shot on goal is the one that went in. And at least it keeps them in the game mathematically going to the second half, down by 1 with 45 minutes left to play. Well, the officials are set to go for this second half, and now the team's almost ready as well as they make their way back out onto the pitch at the Estadio Doroteo Guamach Flores in Guatemala City. Guatemala, the most populous country in Central America, and actually the fourth most populous country in North America. And the host for the qualifying games here in Group C. Earlier today, the first match featured Curacao scoring the only goal of the game in stoppage time. They beat St. Martin. And now the second half underway in our second match of the night. The host nation, Guatemala, leading Barbados 2-1. Now, again, in terms of the qualifying structure here, there are 27 teams battling for 6 spots at the Under-20 Championship later this summer. The team's divided into 3 groups of 5, 3 groups of 4, and it will be the winners of each group advancing to the championship. 6 nations are exempt from qualifying, so there are just 6 spots left, half the field left to be decided through these qualifying matches to round out the 12-team field later this summer. Guatemala attacking here in the opening minutes of this second half and scooped up by Chung in goal. The U.S., Honduras, Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, and the Dominican Republic are the nations that have already locked in their spots for the final. So they are exempt from qualifying, while Guatemala is the highest-ranked team in Concacaf of all 27 that are attempting to qualify for those other 6 spots. They are 7th. Curacao, the team that is also in this group that won earlier today, they're 14th. And then everybody else within Group C, they're outside the top 30, including Barbados. So Guatemala, certainly statistically with a huge advantage coming in. But here's a chance for Barbados in the opening couple of minutes and shot wide. But offsides anyway on Messiah, who was looking for the brace. So it would not have counted. Guatemala trying to match Curacao with a win at the top of the group. They've already outscored them in their opening match as Curacao won 1-0. And Guatemala with 2 on the board in the first half here in their first game. Crossfield for Segastume. First ever meeting between these sides. Guatemala pressing high once again, winning the ball in the area. Shot blocked. Good turn by Mendez that time, but a defender right in his face. Now an opportunity. Guerra gets it out wide. Shot is stopped by Chung and out for a corner. So Guatemala defensive but pressing high to win the ball back quickly deep in the Barbados end. Generating a chance, and now another with a corner kick. This game might already be out of reach for Barbados, but another goal here for Guatemala would certainly do the trick. Low line drive, headed towards the back post. And now Munoz, and what a stop by Chung. Bats it over the bar. The header right on and into his face. Mendez, had he gone anywhere else, would have scored. Mendez right here, but right at the keeper. I mean, anywhere but there, and it's 3-1. But another corner from that same side from Matthew Evans, the LAFC product for Guatemala. Some good service and corners here tonight. Chung coming out to punch that one away. Now the shot from distance and well high and wide. But Guatemala having their way here in their home stadium. This is the venue that has so often hosted matches for the Guatemala national team. Last year was the host venue for the Under-17 Concacaf Championship. And Barbados just struggling to string together passes and get out of their own end. Guatemala swarming with pressure. Now that's a good pass. Between defenders, on the move, Vanderpool. And a long shot, but right at Bolaños, who makes the stop. Diego Bolaños made that horrific mistake in the first half that led to Barbados' only goal, but other than that, hasn't had a lot of work to do here in this match tonight. Prowitz, who scored the game-opening goal. That's a long-range effort and didn't miss by a whole lot. Guatemala can attack from all sides. And Carlos Aguiar letting it rip with that left foot. Barbados just struggling to pass out of their own end. They get the free kick here that might give them some breathing room. Escobar flares it out to the left. Aguiar looking for the give and go. But Guatemala firmly in control right now. Look how deep Barbados is sitting. Good triangle. Cut back in. And a heavy touch from Evans. Couldn't quite control it. Escobar for Evans. Back to Escobar. Was trying to slide it back to Evans. And a series of substitutes, it looks like, are getting set to come on here. No substitutions for each side to this point. And that'll be a free kick for Guatemala. Khalil Vanderpool just a little too frustrated there in the end. He was kind of being held, though, too. Here's Escobar. Pass deflected. Now Prowitz. Now he thought he'd get the run from Evans, but he wasn't making it at the time and couldn't catch up to it. Now Barbados all time. in the Concacaf Under-20 Championship with only one win. And they have a player down on the far side right now. Guatemala also with a player down. And we're going to stop play. And that is Christian Gill, who may be cramping up for Barbados. So medical attention needed for players on both sides here. Prilwitz, a player who went down here at that left ankle, chopped. So he's down, as is Gill at the top of the screen for Barbados. (20-6), the shots in favor of Guatemala. 11-4 in terms of shots on goal. Such a huge disparity. Eventually Gill is going to have to be carried off. I don't know why they didn't bring the stretcher on earlier. It's taken quite a while to deal with him here. Seemed like that would have been the prudent thing to do. All right, so ready to resume here. A little careless passing at the back for Barbados. As I mentioned before, they have only won one match in their history here at the Concacaf Under-20 Championship. And they've lost 17. They've tied 2. They've never made it out of the group stage. Meanwhile, Guatemala, 20 appearances in the event. And they've won over 30 matches. And they've lost over 40. And have been a semifinalist on 2 occasions. But right now, this Group C here in Guatemala all has the goal of qualifying for the Under-20 final, which will be held later this summer. The winner of this group will be one of the 6 who qualify and join the 6 exempt teams that make up the 12-team field for the U20 Championship final tournament. And our first substitution of the match is going to be made by Barbados. And it will be Shimon Harewood. And it looks like he's coming in for Gill, who will stay off after being taken off on the stretcher. Yeah, it's a handball against Barbados. Here's Evans. Now, two contrasting coaches on the touchline for each team. Marvin Cabrera, the coach for Guatemala, a 43-year-old from Mexico. Meanwhile, from Barbados, Kent Hall is a 45-year-old. And well, we'll see here. Now, referee stepping in to kind of quiet some of this physical play here. That's a heavy challenge from Ethan Goodrich. I mean, that's worthy of a yellow. Escobar going far post. And just out of the reach of his intended target over there, Rudy Munoz. That's pretty good delivery, though. I mean, didn't miss by much. And Guatemala keeps the pressure on. High up the field and deep in the Barbados end. Now, the thing about the two managers is the fact that you've got Cabrera for Guatemala, who's a footballer through and through, played professionally in Mexico, coached in Mexico, while for Kent Hall, comes from Barbados and did play in Barbados, but he actually, early on, was a top-notch table tennis player and might have actually stayed with that and gone as far as he could, but he had a falling out with his coach back in Barbados, and, well, with Ethan Squires writhing in pain here from a cramp, they're going to stop play and they may need to haul him off. But Ken Hall was a pretty good table tennis player, and it's only the fact that he kind of fell out with his coach that he decided to make the shift to football and has now made a career out of it. You don't often see that path. Through ping pong to football. And this is the second player for Barbados that's going to be taken off on the stretcher because of cramping. Still a warm evening, temperature in the 70s. In the first match, we saw players cramping when it was up close to 80. And more substitutions coming up here for Guatemala. This will be their first. It'll be Marvin Avila and Justin Bakongje.
Atención, por favor. Cambios para la selección de Guatemala. Sale con el número 10, Roger Escobar. Ingresa con el número 18.
It is Avila coming on, who plays in Antigua.
Abandona con el número 9, Daniel Méndez. Ingresa con el número 20.
Krowitz gets the overlapping run that he was looking for. It's going to be played across, but Chung knocks it down. Those diagonal runs there, heading towards the touch line, have been there all night long for Guatemala. Barbados just not tracking them. Escobar tries to chip it over the back line. Volleyed all the way across. That's going to be run down on the far side by Rudy Munoz. Serve back in, and eventually out for a goal kick. Now Squires is down again. He was the player who was having the cramp. I think it was his right leg last time was cramping, and now it looks like it's the left. No, it looks like he might have turned his ankle, actually, that time. Squires, who plays college soccer in the U.S. at Murray State with the Racers in Tennessee. Physically grueling evening for him, it appears. And now cutting it across, creating a chance in front of Bolaños. And Barbados trying to spring a surprise here. They've already tied this game once. Guatemala in total command of the match, but it just, again, shows you the precarious nature of a one-goal lead here. It just takes that one moment to turn things around, and all of a sudden you're tied once again. And Barbados has the pace, if things break right, in order to take advantage. Too far over the top that time to Chung, who comes out to play it. And Barbados going out of bounds. Thought they might get a break. And let's see here. We're going to get some more substitutes here. Yes, we're going to get one for Barbados. Aiden Tempero from the IMG Academy in Florida is going to come on.
Atención, por favor, cambios en la selección de Barbados. Abandona con el número 8, Ethan Sikier.
And he'll be joined by Kamani Cox, who plays back in Barbados. Now 3 substitutions used so far by the team in blue. And Rivaldo Messiah, one of the players going out, the lone goal scorer for Barbados on the night. Barbados once again falling back deep. This is Sagastume. Switching the fields for Prilwitz. He's going to curl it to the top of the box. This is going to come down for a volley, and that's hammered high and over the bar by Rudy Munoz. Some well-worked passes by the home side. Both teams overall looking to end 3-match losing streaks. Guatemala doesn't have the look of a team that would have lost 3 in a row, but this is going back over the last year or so, as this is still very early in 2024, and they don't often get together to play as a national side. And that's good defending by Guatemala. Overall, Guatemala is winless in their last 5 with those 3 consecutive losses, and Barbados just 3 straight defeats. And another cramp on this Barbados squad in the 70th minute of play. Raquan Clark. Well, you have to like the paramedic crew that comes in with the helmets, kind of like a NASCAR pit crew. Seem to be ready for just about anything, as physical as it might get. A well-protected medical crew. 20 minutes plus stoppage time left to go. And no doubt we'll get more stoppage time here in the second half than we had in the first. Evans has a pass intercepted. Was just about to step into it. Well, Barbados seemingly starting to show signs of fatigue here with the cramping, with the pace of play. And they have brought on 3 substitutes in the second half so far. Guatemala has used 2. Prilwitz, Escobar, and Messiah. The 3 goal scorers all the night. Only Prilwitz and Escobar are still in the game. Messiah coming off here in the second half of play. All 3 goals, though, coming back in the first 45. And now substitute number 3 for Guatemala is going to be Santiago Garzo. So he replaces Matthew Evans. It's a good run. Ball just a little too heavily weighted, though, on the pass. But Justin Rakongosh off the bench into the game in the second half, making the run that time for Guatemala. 12-4 in terms of shots on goal alone. And a corner kick coming up for Guatemala next. And in no hurry to get things done here. Well, things stay this way. Guatemala will join Curacao at the top of Group C after 1 match for each team in the group. Each will have a 1-goal win for the next games in the group to come. And a reminder that it is not like other round-robin group play in other competitions where the top 2 teams, in some cases 3 teams, may move on in some fashion. It's just the group winners that advance to the final of the Under-20 Championship. And now here is Sagastume, and Chung spills it out for a corner. Hard to handle that bouncing ball, kind of tricky. Caden Hee-chung, busy night in goal for Barbados. And now they're going to bring on Johnny Botten and Ronaldo Walker. So this will finish off their full complement of substitutes on the night, with Ethan Goodridge coming out. And also Raquan Clark making way. So Walker, Harewood, Cox, Benton, and Tempero, the 5 subs used by head coach Kent Hall. Guatemala still has 2 more available if they so choose, with just over a quarter of an hour left to go. And a corner kick coming up here for Guatemala. That's cleverly and delicately lifted in, but it'll go out for another corner. Line drive. Headed through. And goal kick. Now again, this one of 10 matches here today between the afternoon and the evening in qualifying around the various groups. 2-1 the lead for Guatemala in Group C after Curacao beat St. Martin earlier today in this same group. And all of Group C taking place here in Guatemala City. Group A is in Managua, Nicaragua. You've got Group B in Antigua and Barbuda. Group C, of course, here. Canada is the best team in Group D, with those matches taking place in the Port of Spain and Trinidad and Tobago. And both Group E and Group F are both being contested at St. Kitts and Nevis. Three groups of 5, 3 groups of 4. Each group winner advancing to the final later this summer. As Chung dives on this, and Barbados tries to get something going here in the final quarter hour. They haven't even crossed midfield much here in the last 10 minutes. And Guatemala doing their best to just work on the clock here. One of the handball, and instead they're going to get a free kick. A little too scrappy from Kamani Cox, who has come on here as a second half sub. Now Barbados just needs to gain some possession, put a few passes together, and it's been problems just like that. They get the ball, they give it right back. And now with the pace and the energy that Guatemala still has, they can turn a dispossession into a scoring opportunity just like that. Now Kuka, he's going to get it back here. 80th minute of play. Still a lot of space near the top for Guatemala. Long range shot, and it's 3-1, the best goal of the night. A rocket, a missile, and that is going to put Justin Rakonkoj on the highlight reel as Guatemala has their largest lead of the evening, 3-1, here at home. What a strike. Had the space out here and lets it go from about 30 yards away. And what a left-footed, absolute bomb, dipping all the way as well. Chung clearly beat third goal from the third different goal scorer on the night. The second half sub, one of 3 for Guatemala. And with 10 minutes left to go, a 2-goal lead feels pretty safe and secure now for the home side. Well, 3 goals from Guatemala have come in a different fashion, but all high quality. One from a deflection that produced a terrific volley. Another off a free kick and a one-touch from that free kick. And then that one from distance, probably the best of the bunch here to make it 3-1. So much goal-scoring depth and quality all around this Guatemala roster. It can come from anywhere. We've seen goals from a forward, a midfielder, and a right back here tonight. And that's headed the wrong direction, and Chung just kept it in. Saved a corner. Now, still only the first game in qualifying, but Guatemala looking like a team that certainly is capable of booking their spot in the final. Here's Prowitz, who had the game-opening goal. He lobs it over the top of Rudy Munoz and out for a goal kick. And the goal kick winds up right in the path of several Guatemalan players. You just can't give away possession like that. And just booting that ball high into the air, 50-50 at best. And it winds up as a throw-in for the home side. Now, the first ever meeting between these two nations at the under-20 level. Guatemala taking the lead early. Barbados, after a mistake by Bolaños, the keeper for Guatemala, tied it at 1. And then 2 unanswered since then for Guatemala to lead by 2 here in the final minutes in Guatemala. That's well done to be kept in on the far side. 1v2. And now Santiago Lazaro coming in off the bench. Will play it down the left flank. And well out of his goal is Chung, as he read that one well all the way. Now, sparse crowd this afternoon for Curacao and St. Martin, but a little over 2,200 in attendance here to see the home team play tonight. And it looks like they're going to go away satisfied, leading by 2, final half dozen minutes, and then whatever stoppage time we have here. And Guatemala will take their place alongside Curacao at the top of the group. Curacao with the 1-0 win today, but Guatemala, in terms of goals and goal differential, will have the better of them, having scored 2 more. Everyone's still sitting back deep except one for Barbados. I don't know how many players have the legs and the energy to still be fighting at this point. Sometimes you get this deep, you are resigned to your fate, and you kind of just want to get through it. And a pair of substitutions. The final two of the night coming on for Guatemala. Got Jose Escobar and Nathan Mendelian, both set to appear for the first time. So both sides out of subs here. And these two more defensive-minded substitutions with the intent of killing off this game. As Munoz makes way. And Guerra also exiting for Marvin Cabrera's side. Marvin Avila, who came off the bench just a short time ago. Krowitz now on the throw after scoring that first goal in the opening minutes. Laid off nicely. Escobar will play it backwards. And Guatemala content to just work on the time at this point. Guatemala certainly a side that has proven over the years that they can play with some of the best in Concacaf. And that's played through nicely. Avila with the stop by Chung. Oh boy, the flag stayed down. Looked like he might have been offsides, but it never went up, and Chung just came out and really made a terrific stop. Close range. Had to be quick with his instincts and his reactions. And boy, that was a quality stop. Maybe the best of the night by the keeper. Because Avila was through and in on goal alone. Now, Caden Hee-Chung has been impressive with some of his stops tonight, and especially the way he's read the game. He has come out and timed his moves when leaving the goal mouth really well. That's something that can be underrated, because so often you have to watch how the play is moving well away from your goal and decide when to make your move. You don't have a lot of time to do it, and a lot of times you got to be right, because when you're coming out of goal, it's do or die, and if you're wrong, you can concede. So timing is indeed everything. And he's been on the mark in that regard so far here this evening. Not much he really could have done about the 3 goals that have been scored. Maybe the first, but certainly the other 2 were largely out of his control. Floated toward the left side in the direction of Munoz. And now into the 90th minute here in Guatemala. Over the top. And Chung again comes out, this time outside the 18 to make that play. And player down, more cramps. Again, it's Barbados, and that'll stop the clock. I should say it'll stop play. The clock will continue here as Ethan Taylor, the captain, is down. So just add on the stoppage time here at the end. But Barbados really suffering from the cramps here tonight. Seem to be certainly suffering a lot more than Guatemala is. And 3 minutes of stoppage time now set to be played in a 3-1 game. Now, in upcoming matches here in this group for Guatemala, they'll be playing St. Martin for the first time, as they also are playing against Barbados for the first time here tonight. And they'll be playing Aruba for the third time. They've won the 2 previous matches against that island nation. So of all the teams they're playing in the group, they have not lost in terms of those nations. Halfway through the extra session, Chung hit his own defender with the outlet. And Guatemala still showing a lot of spring and energy here. Good fitness on this team, and that's offsides. So it'll come back. A very fit and conditioned squad here for Guatemala. And this is going to be a resounding opening performance in qualifying from Group C for them here tonight. Inside the final minute, a game that Guatemala really has had control of from the outset. Barbados, with their 1 goal, very much a fluke. It was a mistake from the keeper Bolaños for Guatemala against the run of play, but they have not had any kind of sustained offensive pressure at all here this evening. It's been possession dominated by Guatemala. They've been all over the final third, creating a lot of chances, generating many shots, and as a result, it is going to be a well-deserved 3-1 win here as the final seconds tick away. Two goals in the first half, 1 in the second, and Guatemala with a definitive 2-goal victory here tonight in front of the home fans. They win their qualifying opener in Group C. The final score, Guatemala 3, Barbados 1, here at the Estadio Doroteo Guamuch Flores Stadium in Guatemala City. Prowitz, Escobar, and Raconcoch, the 3 goal scorers for Guatemala. Messiah, the 1 tally for Barbados. And Guatemala at the top of Group C after 1 night of competition in qualifying for the Under-20 Concacaf Championship. A comprehensive victory. Escobar got the game winner on the 1 touch from the set piece. A crafty corner volley. And in the first ever meeting between these two sides, Guatemala gets the victory. Guatemala looking to make it to the Under-20 Championship Final for the 21st time. And that's the kind of start you want to have on a warm February night in front of the home fans here in Guatemala City. A convincing 2-goal victory. So the highlights and final stats on the way shortly here as we close out the doubleheader here this evening in Guatemala City. Earlier it was Curacao with a 1-0 win over St. Martin, and now a 3-1 victory for Guatemala over Barbados in a game that Guatemala dominated from the very start. Coming out on a warm Friday night, home stadium. at the Estadio Doroteo Guamuch Flores, trying to end a 3-game losing streak. And it wouldn't take long before they would get on the board and creating a lot of chances in the early going. This would be the first goal by Prilwitz on the errant volley from Barbados. Gets over the top of it on a volley of his own to make it 1-0. Taking advantage of the space and the high bouncing ball, finding the back corner of the net. And then the mistake here by Bolaños in goal just minutes later for Guatemala, allowing Messiah to come in and just softly volley it into an open net. Such a huge surprise at the time, making it 1-1. But Guatemala would rebound nicely, and this would not get them down. Off the free kick, Escobar. The little one-touch volley just opens his foot and guides it into the corner for what would turn out to be the game-winning goal. It would be 2-1 at the half. And then in the second half, more of the same. A lot of chances for Guatemala. Chung was busy in goal, having to handle some difficult shots. And then finally, Reconcoj with the goal of the night from well outside the area. Just a laser-guided rocket here into the corner. And a perfect exclamation point on a definitive performance and a decisive win in commanding fashion here tonight. Terrific way to end it as Guatemala wins by 2. Had another chance late. Chung was good in goal, made some fine saves. Could have been a lot worse. But in the end, it's still a 2-goal win and a very decisive final for Guatemala. And the final numbers from this game really reveal the underlying story. 28 shots for the home side to just 6 for Barbados. How about shots on goal alone? 9-1. The only shot Barbados had was that goal. Kind of a fluke goal in the first half, but everything just so one-sided. Very indicative of the way it played out optically here on the pitch. And in the end, a tremendous start in qualifying here on their home pitch. The final score once more, Guatemala 3, Barbados 1, as we say goodnight from Guatemala.
Una de tu y cada